Alert Style friends. Today's adventure, I am on the search for an engine for my daughter's 2010 Subaru Forester. We've got a car that we like, great condition of the body, one little spot of rust, but it needs an engine. So we're looking for a parts car that we can buy, steal the engine out of it, sell whatever's left of the car for parts to try to recoup some of the cost into the parts car, and then completely go through the engine. So new seals, gaskets, new head gaskets, check the heads for squareness, valve guides, give it a tune-up, try to get it in as best a shape we can, and then transplant it into the 2010 Forester. Subaru engines are a little hard to come by, I'm finding. You can get them for $1,500 to $2,000 used. Can also kind of get a parts car for that whole amount. Ideally, I'd like to get a parts car as cheap as possible, so that's what leads me to an online auction for a car that is wrecked. I don't want a salvage car because that requires a broker license to buy at auction, but if it's a clean title, then I can buy that as a citizen. So for 99 bucks, I bought a membership for 1 year to copart.com, C-O-P-A-R-T. It's an online auction, and there's an auction site that's an hour and a half from my house. So this Friday, today is Tuesday, this Friday there are 4 Subarus coming up for auction that have been in accidents. The auction company claims they run and drive, which means that to whatever minimalist extent, at one point they powered up, drove a little bit forward, drove a little bit back, and that's it. Does that mean they're running well? No. Does that mean that they didn't leak or burn oil before? No. Does that mean there wasn't a hellacious rod knock? No. But there's a certain amount of risk with every used engine you buy, unless you're going to spend $2,000 to get something with a warranty. And I'm always up for a gamble to try to beat the system better than that. So my advice for anybody wanting to do this is you got to be willing to take a little bit of a risk. Let's just say hypothetically you buy a car for $1,000. You're going to have about $200 to $300, maybe probably $300 to $400 in auction fees. So depending on how expensive the auction goes for, you've got auction fees, you've got loading fees, environmental fees, taxes, all that stuff goes into it as well. So just plan on an additional $300 to $400. So let's just say you buy it for $1,000, you've got $1,400 into it total. You have to think about the fact that, are you willing to do all of the work? If you're not willing to do the work for free, this deal doesn't work. And listing parts on Facebook Marketplace to sell them off, you may get $500 to $1,000 back on parts, which means, let's say you get $1,000 back on parts because it's got a set of rims, good tires, maybe the seats aren't bad. You're selling off the accessories off the top of the engine. Lots of random little parts at 10 to 25 to 40 bucks a piece add up to recouping some of your expense. Then when you're done, you haul the carcass off to the scrap yard, you get another 50, 75 bucks. Maybe you get 50 bucks for the catalytic converter. All in all, you may end up with a used engine for relatively low. The question is, did you buy the right car? So my recommendation is never buy one sight unseen. Go to the auction beforehand, put your hands on it, turn the engine over with a ratchet and socket, and then do as much mystery work as you can to determine, do you think this car was in good running condition when it was crashed or not? Because you're kind of banking on the fact that this car got into an accident, whether it's a rollover or a side collision or a rear accident collision or a minor front collision, that the car was in good shape when it got wrecked. That's part of the gamble you're willing to take. If it was a front end accident that the damage reached all the way to the engine, I'm out. I don't want to deal with what damage could have happened. So you're looking at a lot of the car to determine, does this look like a car that somebody took care of or not? Last week, Tuesday, I went and looked at 3 different cars. 2 of them looked really good. One of them I was very skeptical of. The one I was skeptical of, I walked away thinking that's the one I want to bid on. The other 2 looked really good in the pictures. They said it ran and drive. It was fairly low miles. I got there. One of them, the interior was completely trashed. Disgusting. Seats were so filthy they were a different color. And I'm like, if that's how they cared for the car, the interior of the car, I have no trust that they cared for the engine that, well. I think somebody who doesn't clean it at all and whatnot is not going to care for the engine either. So cross that one off the list. The next one, I could find no evidence of oil or coolant in the car whatsoever, nor could I find evidence that the oil had been changed. And the interior was disgusting. And it had biohazard stickers on the window. So I don't really know what that means, other than I'm guessing somebody got into a pretty horrific accident with it. Maybe there was blood or bodily fluid inside, or I was out. Unfortunately, the one I wanted to bid on went too high. My guess is the auction company had a reserve set or something, because it went way higher than I expected. So today I'm going back, and we got 4 of them I'm going to look at, and we'll just try to put hands on them and see if any of them look worthy of bidding on Friday. So I'll take you along, show you a little bit of what the auction yard looks like, and then I'll get ready for bidding on Friday. My goal is before Friday to think about every single car, do my research. The website has like a Carfax link to it. I'll take a lot of pictures today, scrutinize those, and then decide before the auction going in what's my maximum bid. Again, if I bid $600 on a car, I've got another $300, $400 in fees, probably more like $400 if you include my $99 membership. So a $600 bid is really a $1,000 expense on the car. If I find one that I'm pretty comfortable with, that's lower mileage, between 100 and 150, I'd be willing to spend $1,200-$1,500 on it, knowing that I'm getting the whole parts car, and we'll get a bunch back, assuming that there's good parts on it. So I'll be there in 10-15 minutes. We'll show you around, and worst case, it's an adventure and I got a little time into it. Best case, I end up with a car. You've learned a little bit from my adventure, and I know more down the road. Be there in a minute. So we're here at Copart Auctions. They do have some cool cars. A lot of wrecked cars, old pickup truck. So the cars I want to look at are out there somewhere. There's a sea of cars. Row A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then there's a number. So D70 is these 4 rows. Section 70 is way back. Here's how they haul them. So I am in Section 90, row E. Looking for a silver Subaru Impreza. The crumpled up hood. This might be it. Airbags blue. All right, time to start looking it over. That one looks really tight. All right, I don't have a ton of time, so I'm gonna stop filming and just do my work. All right, quick overall assessment of this one. I like that it's 115,000 miles. Check the oil. There's a good amount of oil in it. It looks reasonably goldenish black. The radiator is pushed into the fan, or the fans are pushed into the radiator hose, but I don't think that it's touched the plastic timing belt cover, which I was worried about. I think the radiator has leaked out all of its fluid. There definitely is, I brought along a light, evidence of some oil leaking on the valve cover. And if you look down in the bottom, looks like there's some oil leaks, so it would need head gaskets replaced. Same oil leak on the other side. There is evidence, or there's a oil change sticker up in the window, which shows that it was due for an oil change a month or two ago. So that's hopeful that they're decently up on oil changes. Body wise, we've got 4 tires, some paint on a door. That means that door's not worth a whole lot. The interior smells like they were a smoker. That's not ideal, in case anybody wants to buy the seats. And oh, that alignment is off, I think, on that tire. There's not a whole lot of other, these doors are fine. Not a ton of other parts on it. So, all right, on to the next one. All right, here's car number 2. I have to admit, it's the nicest one by far. Also because I think it is the same, it's a Forester, it's the same color. It's got some mirror missing, scratches on the door, scratches all the way down here. Back looks pretty good. Quite dirty cargo cover. Smells good. Smells like an air freshener. Moderately dirty, not horribly. Ooh, lights on the dash. Might be some battery left. This one has 170,000 miles. So a little higher miles. You can see the seats aren't great, and the armrest looks filthy, which gives me a little bit of an idea. Oil change sticker. Says 106, next mileage 165. I wonder if it will turn on and show me anything on the dash. So it is 170. So it's 5,000. If they change the oil, then it's 5,000 miles past due, or unless they changed it elsewhere. She fires up, runs pretty nice. All right, let's look at the engine. All right, I need to move on to the next one. This one fires up. The battery started it right up. It runs smooth. A lot of steam coming out the tailpipe, which is either it's cold or head gasket's gone. The driver's side head is an oily mess. So definitely need to be cleaned and resealed. The passenger side one looks pretty good. So not too worried about that. Mainly worried about the fact that the oil change sticker said it was due for an oil change 5,000 miles ago, and the oil looks a little black. I'm very encouraged by the fact that it runs really, really well. It runs quiet, no knocking, no valve noise. So that's encouraging. All right, on to the next one. Here we go. Nice looking Forester. See you at the rock show. Compassionate care by design. The brothers Fine Teas and Remedies. The Apothecary. Peace Frog. Great Lakes. Rear accident. Nice looking rims. Car looks nice. And here is a problem. That rim and hub cracked right off. So tinted windows, airbag, curtain went off. Inside doesn't look too bad, a little dirty. I think this one's only like 100,000 miles. Dash lights are coming on. Maybe this one will start too. Let's pop the hood and check. I like those rims. Too bad that back one's thrashed. Front is mint, which is worth something in parts. Tires are good. That's worth something. We have an oil change sticker. Nope. All right, let's pop the hood. Wow, this one looks mint. This is the cleanest engine I've ever seen. No evidence of oil leaks. Wow. All right, let's check the oil, coolant, and then see if she starts. She runs nice. Little oil leak in the back of this valve cover. That gasket looks dry. Little oil leak there, but not bad. All right, this one's got a couple oil leaks. Head and Shoulders, my favorite one so far. I like that it was not hitting the front. Looks like it was cared for. I'm sure it will go for the highest dollar too. I need to get out of here. It's 5 o'clock. They've got my driver's license. I need to make sure I can get out on time. We'll see what happens. Auction's on Friday. I am back at Copart again. This time, hopefully to bring a car home. Oh, it's bumpy in here. Somewhere should be a Subaru. Got her loaded up. Back in the car, my hand, I don't know what it is with the weather whenever I go to Copart. It has been cold and rainy every single time. She's loaded up. It's kind of interesting how quickly and efficiently they load a car. I got her strapped down pretty well. Decided to put her, sorry it's a little loud, there's a semi passing me. Decided to load it facing the rear because the front is where the damage was. I didn't want the hood to release and pop open or fender to blow off. You can see the back of the car, the rearview mirror behind me. So we are heading home in the rain. This car has been nicknamed the party car because we are partner out. And my daughter's a little aghast every time I talk about the fact that she's not dead yet, she still runs, but we can fix that. And the people at Copart are actually really welcoming and friendly. Not overly staffed, but they were helpful. So 3 cars, went back, read all the reports on them, scrutinized all the pictures, the videos, decided I wanted to bid on all 3 of them, but I had not done it before. And so studying the website, read every page of the new member handbook, watch some YouTube videos, trying to figure out the best way to do that. I feel like there's 2 options. One is the pre-bid, which is similar to eBay, where you submit, you know, my maximum bid is $500, and if the opening bid's $200, then you got it. If somebody bids $225, it automatically puts in $250 for you, but it won't go over your maximum bid. Or you can wait to the day of the live auction, and then on your phone or on your computer, you just click on the bid option, and the timer counts down for about 5 seconds. It's super fast. Somebody outbids you, the timer resets for another 5 seconds, and then if you want to outbid them, you click bid, and it goes fast, and it's terrifying. So the challenge for me was last Friday the auctions came up, and auctions started at 10. All 3 cars come up. Their auctions wrap up within an hour or 2, and so you need to check where your cars are in the queue. There's like 5 different auctions at the site I was at going at the same time, 5 different lanes. So each car comes up at a different time. You can check on the car and it tells you approximately how many minutes till it comes up. Fortunately for me, all 3 of the cars were in the order that I wanted. My top priority, my second priority, and my third priority. So I watched the top priority one, waited patiently for an hour for it to come up, bid on it. Unfortunately, it went for several $100s higher than what my top bid was for that one. Unfortunately, then I had to go to a doctor's appointment for my annual physical, so I had to do a pre-bid for the second one. Now, I feel like the downside to the pre-bid is it tips your hand to other bidders ahead of time, so they have more time to think about it and react and bid over you. But that was my only option. So I bid my maximum for the second car, which was the red Forester 2010, and my maximum bid was $1,000. So I bid $1,000, and then shut my computer and went to my doctor's appointment. Logged into the doctor's appointment on my phone on the app. Just as I sat down after checking in, pulled up my phone, looked, and a red Forester was up for auction at that moment, and somebody had outbid my $1,000 bid. On the way there, I was thinking, maybe I should have gone a little higher. It's just so hard to find good value used engines for sale. So when that one came up, I quick hit bid again, and then it went so fast I wasn't sure if I got it or not. And then all of a sudden I got called into my doctor's appointment, and the first thing they did was check my blood pressure. I'm like, oh my gosh, my blood pressure is going to be so high. But it wasn't, it was fine. After the doctor's appointment, I was confused because it said I had been outbid, but it also said that the seller's minimum was $1,700 and some dollars, and that I was awaiting a seller response to my bid. So I'm like, maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. If so, the seller's probably not going to accept my bid. So then I went into a staff meeting, and the third car came up. So I bid on that one and got outbid, I think, as well, but I wasn't 100% sure because it just goes so fast. I didn't see anybody outbid me, but it said I was outbid. But it didn't say awaiting a seller response, so I was confused on that one. About 5 hours later, I get a message that the seller accepted my bid, which I didn't think there was any way going to happen. So my $1,100 bid was so far away from the $1,700 that the seller's minimum was, but said that I got it. So fantastic, I bought a car. So the long and the short of it is, I always find it's helpful when people talk about real numbers. I bid $1,100 for it. It's a 2010 Subaru Forester with 170,000 miles. I did fire it up, it ran, looked to be decently well cared for. I was not surprised by all of the fees and taxes and title transfer and loading fees and environmental fees and commissions. The total cost came to about $1,710 on my $1,100 bid for the Forester. So time to get the party car home and get her unloaded. Parts car is in the garage. Next, we're gonna start working on her and figuring everything out. So stay tuned for more. I think that's where I'm gonna wrap up this episode and the saga of saving Ruby, the Subaru Forester. Thanks for tuning in. If you got a question, comment below, feel free to post it. Give a thumbs up, hit the bell notification. Have a great day. Be kind to one another.